Imagine a world where the word hero becomes a memory, where the symbols of hope you once trusted now stalk the skies with cold, merciless eyes. One by one, the Justice League has fallen not in battle, but in spirit, transformed into tyrants who rule Earth through fear. And at the center of this nightmare, standing in the shadows of Gotham, is the one man everyone believed would never break. Because this time, even Batman is evil. And when the Dark Knight abandons the light, the world doesn't just fall, it shatters. It begins with silenced on unnatural, heavy silence stretching across Metropolis. The skies are darkened by clouds that weren't there yesterday. The city feels wrong, empty, as if it already knows it's living through the calm before a storm it could not escape. It happens at dawn. Superman, glowing with solar fury, descends upon the United Nations tower. There is no warning, no speech, no plea. A single blast of heat vision slices through the structure, reducing decades of diplomacy and fragile peace to molten ruin. The world watches in horror. A symbol of hope has just declared war on the planet. Before the world can breathe, Wonder Woman strikes next. She seizes control of the Mycera, overthrowing her own mother and transforming the island into a militant empire. Her new decree echoes across oceans. Humanity has failed itself. Amazon rule begins now. The bracelets that once blocked bullets now execute those who resist. Fear spreads faster than fire. Then comes the Flash. His Speed Force lightning tears across continents as he disables global communications, dismantles power grids, and eliminates anyone still capable of organizing resistance. To the naked eye, he's nothing but a red blur carving lines of dread through every city he passes. Within hours, the world's leaders vanish, kidnapped, imprisoned, or worse. But through it all, one question rises louder than every scream echoing across the globe. Where is Batman? At first, people believe he's hiding, strategizing, preparing to stop the madness. Gotham clings to the hope that his dark protector will step from the shadows to challenge his fallen allies. But Bruce Wayne has vanished. Wayne Manor is abandoned. The bat signal is destroyed, shattered, as if by the man who once answered it. Then, days later, the truth is revealed. A broadcast interrupts every surviving screen, every remaining communication line. In the darkness, a familiar cowl emerges. Batman, but not the Batman the world remembers. His voice is calm, steady, and terrifyingly certain. The Justice League is not misguided. They are not corrupted. They are enlightened, and I have joined them. Because humanity has proven one thing: it cannot be trusted to save itself. The world stops. Not even the sound of wind dares to move. The one hero who prepared for every threat has become the greatest one. The camera pulls back, revealing an army of redesigned bat drones hovering behind him like a flock of steel predators. Beneath the mask, Bruce's eyes are colder than the criminals he once hunted. The age of heroes is over, he says. The age of control begins. And just like that, the final hope humanity clung to turns to ash. The collapse of hope is not loud. It doesn't come with explosions or declarations. It comes with acceptance, slow, creeping, suffocating acceptance. Within days, the world adjusts to its new rulers. The Justice League, guardians of peace, divide the earth into controlled territories. Superman watches the skies. Wonder Woman commands the seas and military zones. Flash becomes the enforcer, appearing anywhere. Resistance stirs. And Batman becomes the architect of the New World Order. From beneath the ruins of Gotham, he activates a secret fortress he once swore never to use, the Nightfall Protocol Chamber. It's a labyrinth of intelligence, surveillance, and weapon systems he designed only for one scenario, when the world needed protection from the Justice League. Now, twisted by whatever darkness has seized his heart, he uses it to strengthen their iron rule. His bait drones swarm through cities, scanning every citizen, tracking every heartbeat, every movement. Privacy becomes a myth. Dissent becomes a death sentence. But beneath all this terror, a far more haunting truth begins to reveal itself. Batman isn't acting like a man controlled. He isn't brainwashed. He isn't coerced. He is deliberate, calculated, in total command. And in the shadows of this broken earth, a small resistance watches everything fall apart. Led by Green Arrow, Black Canary, Cyborg, one of the few Justice League members who resisted the turn, and a battered but determined Commissioner Gordon. They move like ghosts through abandoned cities. They have no fortress, no powers, no armies, only desperation, courage, and a single question. Why would Batman do this? Cyborg spends sleepless nights analyzing intercepted signals from Batman's drone network, trying to decipher hidden commands. Green Arrow insists on a simpler answer. Bruce finally snapped. Years of trauma, loss, and fighting monsters changed him more than anyone realized. But Gordon, the man who's known Bruce longer than any of them, refuses to believe it. He doesn't break. Gordon growls. Something else happened. Then, during a covert mission in the ruins of Metropolis, they witness something terrifying. Superman storms through a resupply tunnel, dragging a terrified rebel. But when the rebel mutters Batman's name, Superman flinches not in anger, but in fear. Only one man in the world could make the strongest being alive hesitate. The Resistance realizes something even worse than their nightmares. Batman is not just another corrupted hero. He is the one controlling them, guiding their new violent ideology, orchestrating every move from the shadows. Batman is the leader of the evil Justice League. That night, Cyborg manages to hack a fragment of Batman's encrypted network and uncovers a chilling message. Phase 2 begins at midnight. A global purge, a total reset. A world ruled by the League, reshaped in their image. If the Resistance fails, midnight approaches like the closing of a coffin lid. The world feels smaller, quieter, as if it's holding its breath. Far beneath Gotham, in an abandoned subway line turned makeshift headquarters, the Resistance gathers around a flickering hologram of Earth. Red zones leg controlled territories pulse like infected wounds, and at the center, a symbol glows brighter than the rest, the Bat emblem. It marks the location of Batman's command, core deep, in the foundations of old Gotham, where even light seems afraid to go. Cyborg stabilizes the hologram with shaking hands. Phase 2 isn't just a purge, he says. It's a neural enforcement wave. Batman built a device that'll broadcast through every satellite and League tower. It'll force compliance, permanent compliance. A world without free will. Green Arrow slams his fist onto the table, and then we stop it. Tonight, Black Canary nods, but her voice is heavy. He knows we'll try. He wants us to. The truth settles over them like dust. Batman isn't reacting to danger. He's anticipating it. Every move they make is in his script. Every plan they form, he already prepared for. Fighting Superman is terrifying. Fighting Wonder Woman is overwhelming, but fighting Batman is impossible. Still they move. Under cover of darkness, the Resistance infiltrates Gotham, navigating a maze of crumbling alleyways and abandoned streets. Bat drones hover above like steel vultures, scanning the night. Cyborg disrupts their detection fields one by one, but each disruption sends a signal back to headquarters. Batman knows they're coming, deep underground, beneath miles of reinforced stone and metal. They finally reach it, the Nightfall core, a massive obsidian sphere thrumming with energy. Suspended over a pit of endless darkness, blue circuitry crawls across its surface like veins pumping poison. At its base, a single platform leads to a console, Batman's console. Then footsteps echo. He emerges from the shadows with the calmness of a man walking into his own home. Batman, cloak drifting behind him, eyes reflecting the cold glow of the machine he built. He doesn't raise a weapon. He doesn't summon drones. He simply speaks. You're early. Green Arrow draws an arrow instantly. Bruce, this isn't you. Whatever they did, whatever they became, you don't have to follow them. But Batman's expression doesn't change. I didn't follow them. They followed me. The words hit harder than a punch. Cyborg steps forward, voice cracking. Why, Batman? Why do this? Why become the very thing you spent your life fighting? Bruce walks closer, and for a moment, just a sliver of a moment, there is something like sorrow in his eyes. Because I realize the truth, he says. Chaos wins. Villains rise. Innocents die. And we fail. Again and again. I spent decades preparing for threats from gods and monsters, but I never prepared for humanity's inability to change, so I gave it structure. He gestures to the pulsing core. A world without freedom is the only world without fear. Green Arrow fires. A perfect shot, straight toward Batman's heart. Batman catches it, not with armor, not with tech, but with reflexes sharpened beyond anything the arrow has ever seen. And behind that terrifying speed is a truth that chills every member of the resistance. Batman is no longer human. The shadows around him twist subtly, unnaturally. His movements are too smooth. His presence, Cyborg's voice trembles. "What did you do to yourself, Bruce?" Batman smiles, "Just barely. I evolved." And as the Nightfall core begins powering up, filling the chamber with a rising hum that vibrates through bone and blood, the resistance realizes they are not fighting the man they once knew. They are fighting the next version of him. The chamber trembles as the Nightfall core awakens energy, spiraling upward like a dark star being born. The glow intensifies, washing the room in shifting waves of blue and black. Each pulse feels like a countdown to the end of free will. The resistance stands frozen, not from fear, but from the crushing realization that the man before them is something beyond their imagination. Batman moves first. In a blur of shadow, he darts forward, disarming Green Arrow before the Archer even registers the movement. The bow hits the ground, clattering helplessly. Arrow stumbles backward, staring into a pair of eyes that no longer seem fully human. There is precision in them, calculation, and something colder than steel. Black Canary unleashes a scream that shakes the entire chamber, but Batman steps into it, through it, as if his body absorbs the sonic waves like water. He reaches her before she takes her next breath, placing a single gloved hand on her throat, not squeezing, just reminding her she could die at any moment. "You're fighting the inevitable," he whispers. A blast erupts from behind him, Cyborg firing a white-hot cannon beam. It strikes Batman directly, engulfing him in blinding light. For a moment, the room fills with smoke and burning air. But when the haze clears, Batman is still standing. His suit rearranges itself, nanotech stitching together the damage instantly. Cyborg's cannon arm overheats and fails. Bruce turns toward him. "Victor, you were always the closest to understanding evolution." He raises his hand. A swarm of microdrones detaches from his suit, spiraling towards Cyborg and attaching to his neural ports. Sparks fly as Cyborg collapses to one knee, fighting to override the invasive code, forcing its way into his systems. He screams, circuits flaring red. Green Arrow charges at Batman from behind, wielding a blade instead of a bow. He swings with fury, but Batman sidesteps effortlessly and catches him by the wrist. A twist, a crack. Arrow falls to the floor, gasping, clutching his arm. One by one, the resistance breaks. Only Commissioner Gordon remains standing, aged, tired, but resolute. He steps between Batman and the fallen rebels, breathing heavily. His voice is worn, almost pleading. "Bruce, you're killing the world you swore to protect. You're killing yourself." For the first time, Batman hesitates. Not long, not visibly, but Gordon sees a flicker of something beneath the armor. A memory, the ghost of the boy he once comforted on a snowy Gotham night. Gordon steps closer. "You're not fixing the world. You're trying to control the pain you never healed." The hum of the Nightfall core grows louder. The countdown nears its end. Batman's voice softens. "Pain is clarity." "No," Gordon replies. "Pain is human." Something cracks behind Batman's eyes, a fracture in the armor around his soul. Cyborg seizes the moment. With the last fragment of power left in his failing systems, he rips the micro-drones from his body and overrides the Nightfall core containment field. Bruce's head snaps toward the console. "No." A brilliant surge of energy erupts upward, shaking the chamber. Cyborg redirects the core's output back into itself, forcing an overload. The arm becomes a scree metal bending, circuits melting. Batman lunges toward the console, but Green Arrow, despite his broken arm, grabs Bruce's leg, holding him just long enough. But the core detonates. Light floods the world. Then everything fades. When the dust settles, the Nightfall chamber is gone, reduced to a hollow crater beneath Gotham. The neural wave never launched. Humanity remains free. Cyborg lies unconscious, but alive. Black Canary breathes weakly. Green Arrow smiles faintly, despite the pain. Gordon coughs through the smoke, searching the ruins. Batman is gone. No trace of him. No body. No signal. Nothing. For months, the world struggles to rebuild. Superman, Wonder Woman, and Flash, freed from Batman's influence, wake, as if from a nightmare. They remember flashes, pieces, shadows of what they did under his command. The guilt nearly destroys them, but they choose to atone, helping humanity recover from the scars they left. But at night, in Gotham, rumors spread. A figure seen on rooftops, a shadow moving through the alleys. A whisper among criminals who swear the darkness itself is watching them again. But something is different. This Batman leaves no criminals tied up for the police. No warnings, no symbols, only silence. Because whatever crawled out of the Nightfall chamber that night is not the hero the world once knew. Humanity survived the fall of the Justice League, But somewhere in the shadows, the most dangerous version of Batman is still out there, and he is watching, always.